Pretenders and the talk of the town. It's nearly 25 to 1. Good afternoon to you. It's BBC Radio Merseyside. Now, here's a blast from the past. Many of you listening now will remember the name Brian Jakes. For those who don't, Brian was a novelist, a musician, an ex-docker as well, and a wonderful teller of stories. And he delighted BBC Radio Merseyside listeners for many, many years with his programme, Jakestown. And his stories from the Redwall series, they've taken on a new life now in video gaming. It's based on the 30 million selling series of books written by Brian. They became a global phenomenon, being compared to the likes of The Lord of the Rings. So this is big stuff. The Lost Legends of Redwall, the Scout anthology, is inspired by the characters created by Brian, and it's going to come to your game system, your games console, on the 1st of December. Schmidt is one of the voice actors involved with the project and joins us now live from the United States. Austin, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
It's a great connection, this, because I knew Brian, and worked with Brian
really?
for a number of years, and 30 million copies of his novel sold as well, and it's a great legacy for him, this, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, so for me, even before I was involved with the Scout, the game, I had read the Redwall books and was quite a big fan of Jakes' work. So it was phenomenal to be able to experience that. But it's also so cool to hear that you knew him personally. That is wonderful.
So you voice one of the characters, a couple of the characters. Tell me about your role in this in the game itself.
Yeah, I voice Liam Rivermouse. He is this plucky, dorky little bundle of adventure who is a freshly crowned and I guess you could say minted scout who is thrust into quite an adventure that he didn't plan for when a bunch of sea rats attack his village and fellow scouts. And so he has to take his injured fiance to Redwall to be healed, but also it has a secret mission to take this secret key, this artifact called the Tangram, that if the rats get their hands on, it's bad news for all of Mossflower.
And the idea is these wonderful, timid creatures, they have to, they have to defend themselves against the baddies, if you like, the rats, and that's all part of the game. And that's the stories in Redwall. So when you were reading Brian Jakes' novels, did you get an idea of how you wanted the character to sound? Or is there a director who says, listen, Austin, we want it to sound like this? How does that work?
That's a good question. So from reading the books, you really get a sense of the rustic flavor that Jakes put into his work, both in just how the characters interact to those little small moments of joy that they have with eating the food and just their sort of community and communion that they share. So that was really important for me to capture a authentic rustic vibe. I didn't want to go with just a very cold and clinical accent because obviously I am not British in my voice. So it was really important to me to capture sort of that very natural countryside vibe with the voice to match the spirit of Redwall there. And that was something that was kind of pushed by the project leads. So yeah, that was important to all of us.
Yeah. And are you allowed to give us a taster of how the character sounds? Because I know, there's some organisations don't like you doing it, etc., etc. Are you allowed to do that with us? Because we knew the author.
No, I don't mind at all. So Liam sounds something like this. I patterned a lot of his voice after Sheffield voices, but the distinct thing with him was that his background, actually, he comes from a mixture of different cultures. And so I wanted to blend a numerous amount of accents in there, so that
Yeah.
he's a bit of a hodgepodge. But he was quite fun to explore the voice and then do different things in the course of the script.
I'm really impressed with that. If you'd have come on and started to talk to me in that accent there, I would have put you somewhere kind of, mid North Yorkshire there. So you've obviously studied it. You've obviously practiced.
Yeah, no, and that was something when we started the project. Initially I was hired on, but we spent a few weeks refining the voice, making sure that it was something that was unique to the character I was playing, but also brought something fresh to the table. And so that was something that was important for both of us.
Yeah. Have you been to the UK? Have you been to Liverpool by any chance? Because depending on where you are in the city, the accent can get quite thick and difficult to understand if you're a visitor, because I mean, I'm not speaking very quickly now, but when I get into the mode with my other Scouse mates in the pub, you probably wouldn't understand me.
No, I haven't had the chance to visit the UK, which is so sad. I would love to go one day, but that's definitely one of the benefits of living in the information age, being able to look up a bunch of reference material of, hey, how does a average person in Yorkshire or Sheffield or
Yeah.
however, how do they sound? So that's immensely helpful.
So the recording of it, is it when you're doing a game, a console game, is it different the way that you record the voices? Because, let's take Toy Story, for example, with Tom Hanks they will watch the characters on the screen. They will put the voices to the pictures. Is it different with gaming? Do you just have to repeat things over and over and over again? Different inflections. How many lines? Thousands, hundreds of thousands of words and phrases. I mean, it sounds a bit of a grueler, as we say here.
It was. Thankfully, with a game, a lot of the material ends up being the playable, actual gameplay, which not all of that is going to have voiceover. You're going to have little, characters talking here and there. And of course, over the course of the game, you're going to be encountering dozens of different characters. So there's plenty to record, but it's not quite as grueling as a 2.5 hour movie or 1.5 hour movie. But yeah, no, I mean, there were thousands of lines, and you take probably 3 takes of each line, and you're making sure that you're really just giving the script what it's asking for. You're making sure for those emotional moments or those humorous moments, whatever it is, my job as an actor is to meet it where it's at and help bring it to life.
In every class in school, there was always a kid who was great at doing, voice impersonations of either the teacher or, celebrities or whatever. I'm guessing you were that kid when you were that age.
Actually, no. That was something that I think I did this more with my family. It was something where I enjoyed mimicking movies I saw and kind of being the goofball with my family. But I'm actually a terrible introvert. So
Are you
when
shy?
it came to,
Are you shy?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you can't tell.
I was miserable as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, no, you put me back when I was 5 years old or whatever, I'd be hiding behind mom and you wouldn't get a peep out of me. So,
oh, mate,
a lot of this is definitely learned.
Now. You've made up for it now, Austin. You've definitely made up for it now. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. So apparently a major movie and a TV series is coming to Netflix one day as well. There's talks about that. Will you be involved in that? Did you throw your name into the ring with that as well? Is that the way it works?
I haven't heard anything and haven't been able to make contact. I mean, obviously, Netflix, that's an entirely different company and division and everything. But no, I have heard of that project, and it's phenomenal. Especially, I know that the director worked on Over the Garden Wall, which a lot of. Yeah, and that was something that captures a lot of the same sort of vibes and spirit of Redwall. So I'm very excited to see what he brings to the table.
Well, we're really pleased you came on to talk to us because there will be members of Brian's family who still listen to BBC Radio Merseyside, or word will certainly get back. And it's a lovely legacy for him and his estate and his family as well to know that Redwall is going to continue into the future for a whole new generation, Austin.
Yeah, no, and it's an immense honor for me to be a part of this. Again, I had actually only started reading the series probably 2 or 3 years before being cast in the game. So I'm not someone who grew up with the series, but reading it as an adult, being able to see, wow, this really does have a lot of that charm, and there is something very unique about the spirit in which he wrote these books. So I was immensely honored to be tangentially a part of that.
All right. Well, a good story is a good story for any age, from any era, mate, isn't it? That's the way it works. Austin, thank you for being so shy talking to us today, by the way. And thanks for coming on to the programme. You played a blinder, as we say in this city. You take care, and thanks very much indeed for your time. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care.
There's Austin Schmidt. He's a voice actor, and he's going to be part of Redwall, The Lost Legends of Redwall, the Scout anthology. Big Radio Merseyside connection with that as well. And it's coming to the games consoles, which is a massive, massive deal.
Tony Snell.